Hi, I'm David Davis from ActualTech Media. We're here at the headquarters of Quobyte, and I'm excited to be joined by the CEO and founder, Mr. Bjorn Kolbeck. How you doing, Bjorn?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thanks for joining me. So I know a lot of us in IT, out there in the audience, they may or may not have heard of Quobyte. So let's start off with the easy question. Who is Quobyte, and what makes you unique?
We're a software storage company, founded by my co-founder Felix Hupfeld and me. We have a background in high-performance computing and worked at Google. So we bring this combination of hyperscaler technology, hyperscaler ideas, and high-performance computing together. And our focus is really on enterprises that have a problem with large amounts of data and making sense of the data. If you think of use cases like AI, machine learning, big data, all of those generate huge amounts of data that you want to use, ingest quickly. So a lot of enterprises have high-performance computing problems nowadays, and we help those companies make their storage more efficient and manage at scale.
Okay. So what is it that was learned in hyperscale and web scale from Google that helps enterprises to better manage or store their data? What were the things that were learned?
I think the most important thing is really how to manage at scale without a lot of manpower. Okay. So if you think about modern storage for those workloads, 10 petabytes is small. So we're talking about hundreds of petabytes now.
Wow.
That's hyperscale. A lot of companies now have that. But traditional storage systems require a lot of manpower, which makes it very expensive. So what we learned from the hyperscalers is really how to operate at scale with a very small team, which solves your biggest problem with storage, cost and finding the people.
And making storage, easier to manage, I think, is something that every IT organization out there, loves and really needs, because traditionally storage has been a real headache for so many organizations. What about the use cases? I mean, can this work with hyperconvergence, containers, private cloud? Tell us some of the use cases.
Yeah, we made sure that our storage really works for a broad range of use cases. So we have customers running OpenStack environments with virtual machines, so 4K random IOPS. We have customers in the high-performance computing space that needs hundreds of gigabytes of throughput. So we can basically cover a broad range. You can use VMs, databases, small file workloads, large throughput workloads, whatever you find in most enterprises today.
Okay. And is Quobyte hardware or software? Do I bring my own hardware to the table?
Yeah, we're software only, and we take that pretty serious. So I think it's important that we are software only, which is also important for the ease of use. Software should be really easy to use, and then you bring your own hardware from your favorite vendor.
Okay. And is there a hardware compatibility list of some kind that you recommend if I were to go shopping for hardware to run this on?
Yeah, we have standard recommendations from almost all vendors. Some of our customers even use dual vendor strategy in the same installation. So we're really pretty flexible.
Okay. And besides making storage easier to manage and use, what are some of the other benefits? I mean, can it help to save companies money, overall on their storage expenses?
Definitely. So I think using standard hardware already helps a lot. That's what we learned from the hyperscalers. And the other thing is really the amount of staff that you need to have for the storage. If you look at what Google published, there's a book by Urs Hölzle. It's a factor up to 100 that an administrator can manage more based on this technology.
Wow.
So I think it's really, we help cut down the largest cost factor, which is the staff.
Yeah, very nice. And so if companies want to get started with Quobyte, and it can run on commodity hardware, is this something they can just download and install in a lab, or how does the POC kind of process work?
They can go to our website and download the software. They need 4 servers to get started, and then can grow from there. And we had a lot of customers that started with a handful and grow to hundreds of servers.
Very nice. Well, I look forward to learning more about the architecture of Quobyte. Thank you.
Thank you.